Yo, we are at Dice Addiction. It is April 15th. May. It's time warp myself. There we go. We got win a case. Is it case or 2 case now?
Winners we want.
Case and a half. Case and a half is good stuff. We got a pretty good turnout here for an live event. So I think that says something. So we got Juggernaut, we got Clicksman, we got Phoenix Nest. We got like a whole bundle. This is Dice Addiction's new space. They got plenty of space. So Wiz Kids, if you care or watching, maybe if Wiz Kids cares anymore, this is a good space to hold a big event. So yeah, so tournament's probably gonna be starting here in the next 15 minutes. So yeah, you're gonna hear back from me a little bit later like we normally do. Glad to be doing tournament reports again. Let's go. I got Brad. It's me versus Brad. Hold on, wait. There we go. Brad Broyles. He's wearing the Clicksman shirt.
Really make this a party?
Huh?
Let's get some Jello. I do have
No. All right. How does it feel to play back in person again?
How do I feel about
How does it feel to play back in person again?
It's a whole other thing, man. It's looking at dials, looking at the map. It's great to play in person, but it's like a whole new game to me.
Yeah. All right, we're about to play. We might come back a little bit. Yeah, I'm wearing double mask, low mask, high mask. That's why. All right, we're gonna play. All right, like all things, I'm late. Anybody? I'm not. There's Michael Love. He's grown into a fine, strapping young man. No. All right. I got Brad Broyles here. We just played in top 4. He beat me. He beat me in top 4 with against my Justice League. He has an amazing X-Men team. Elaborate to the lovely people about your X-Men team and your super secret tech.
I dare you to hit me with my team. She moves up, carries everybody, and the Dark Phoenixes went in the back. And either you go after them or you have to go after the Phoenixes. Usually you can't go after both.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make sure that you can, you know. Well, I'll try my best, you know.
And then if you do something major, Krakoan Revival, and then you're like, now it's my turn.
Yeah, it's like, eventually you're going to miss, and then I get my turn.
Yeah. So
and you don't get to bring guys back.
Yeah. How long did it take for you to make this team?
I built half of it almost 2 months ago, and then I played in the Clicksman tournament, and why the chaining? I looked at it and was like, why not play with Maggot? I mean, Maggots just go full bore with why the chaining. And I was like, but they need stopping power. You need to be able to come back.
It takes a lot to take down A.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize how hard it is to take down A.
Yeah, a lot of people think you have to have the result for when you heal. But his says that you just roll d6 and heal that much.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's not half. So 3 through 6, I go back up to full. And then you gotta do it again. And then I had Mastermind.
Yeah, and Krakoan Revival. Yeah. Have you had any teams that take you close to 200 or?
In practice, it just popped off with the skinless assassins. It just kept going, and then it just got 400 points, and then it was over. So that's basically what's happening. I'm betting against the odds that eventually you're just gonna miss, and then my team's still full health, and then I just tear you apart.
Okay, so. There's a lot of stuff here. We got Jay. He needs his play. Yeah, he needs his player. All right, that's it. I'm going to try to see if I can get another interview before my crew says we have to go to dinner.
Welcome to the Starting Over Podcast. I'm your host, Edward Shelton, aka Dark Logos, and this is a show where we look at the strategies, tactics, and mechanics behind the game of heroclix. And we're actually going to go back into looking at the mechanics and not just be a set review Starting Over Podcast that we've been for the last year. So I'll say this, getting back in person and playing has been great fun, great revelations about where I'm at as a player, and even more so about the current state of the game. And I know like the online play is important. But today's show, I'm going to be talking about the state of the game. I know there's going to be a lot of other folks that are, have already thrown in their 2 cents about the last few tournaments and what they think about the state of the game. But I'm going to go into some things that I believe that are important and maybe have a little bit more unique spin on certain things. So let's get started in on that. Before that, first and foremost, of course, I got to give a shout out to Dice Addiction for hosting the Tank Open. It was a lot of fun, and if you have the chance in the future to show up to Tulsa and play, I would thoroughly recommend it. Let's go ahead and get started on today. So after playing in the Tank Open, I look at some key things that I saw that ended up being, in my opinion, bigger deals than I thought they were. The first thing in preparation for this tournament, I did do some reading and I did do a little bit of research, and like all good things, I listened to my team and I played Justice League. And having looked at a couple of different mechanics, I realized the game is pretty much reduced down into the Alpha Strike and absorb the Alpha Strike. And that to me is a very quirky place to be. In particular, the can I absorb the Alpha Strike part of the game, because that means that I'm not saying asking ourselves distinct questions, but in all honesty, we are putting ourselves in a unique situation, primarily in which we're saying, hey, the game is more so dependent on who goes first than almost any other part. Since the Ghost Rider meta. And for some people who don't remember the Ghost Rider meta, pretty much it was Ghost Rider, the Bat Belt, I think it was Brother Voodoo, I think. But it pretty much you were able to get Ghost Rider across the map and then just kill everybody. That's pretty much was the meta. And so seeing that we're somewhat back at that Ghost Rider meta, I feel like it's a little bit disturbing. The other thing that I've also noticed with this, sort of Ghost Rider meta is if your alpha fails, most teams have a good chunk of the win knocked out of them. They just do. There's no, hey, I'm going to come back and do something cool. It's like, my team got disassembled. Okay, great. Which, yes, I understand that this is a dice game, but from a tactics perspective, it is a little bit more frustrating that there is no recovery. Now, you can say, hey, look, Dark Logos, it has to be this way because we're getting all these cheap pieces and we're getting able to build these better theme teams, so we don't have to go to plus 11 like we did before, which is a positive, and I'll get into that later. But these are shallower figures because they're cheaper figures, but they're highly optimized, highly efficient figures that are going to be used. And to that degree, I understand but it does not sit well with me that much. And I think that is something that after playing, I was just like, oh, like, I have this Flash, he goes in and does his thing, and now Flash is dead. Did he not kill all the things, or he's dead? Like, just accepting that, and knowing how much of my offense is dependent on Flash to do his things. So, to a degree, you're stuck with this bombardment of weenies, which allows you to have a pretty decent team, between the 50 to, let's just say, 20 point level. Whereas in the past, those guys were your backup pieces. Now these guys are your main force. And 75 points and 75 points is your high end, and 100 points is almost borderline too expensive. And that part of the current state of the game, I am quite disappointed on. And I know, again, that sounds strange, because your quality pieces in the past used to be 100 to 125 points. That is like your main guy that you're really focused on, and that's taking a good chunk of your energy, of your team. And now it's like, nah, man, Thanos and the peak Superman is 100, 125 points, it feels like. And Darkseid it needs to be, 150 points with everything that all the Darkseids had together on one card. That's the level of absurdity that we're at in the current state of the game. And I don't think a lot of people have come to realize that as players, is that the state of the game in terms of offense is absurd. Okay? The next thing that I'm looking at, going back to the can you absorb an alpha, or can you just take damage? We go back to Matt Esbrook's look at me, I have the untouchable Fantastic Four and I can't die. That's sort of annoying. And I understand Matt Esbrook has categorically stayed in the you can't kill me, I'm hard to kill, I win games because I score 5 points. That's the type of player he is. I'm not necessarily a fan of all of that all the time, but like he's a one trick. That's fine. I've done it. I've played that style. But in the current state of the game, looking at that one trick of saying like, look, I can absorb this alpha, or not necessarily can I absorb this alpha, but look at me, I can realistically go in and not have to worry about too much about the game state. I think that's also the other extreme. Having characters that can't be targeted, period. Having characters that only take 1 click of damage for multiple clicks. That's a bad situation. And to me, you're trying to patch over mistakes that you made in the past. Oh, we put in too much offense. Here's these characters that just take up a certain amount of damage. Well, what about your defensive powers? What role do those figures play in that? And it's like, oh no, like we need to have these characters that ignore power cosmic and are able to outwit everything to balance that. But to balance the absurd amount of damage that we're allowing to be cranked out, we need to have characters that just take 1 click. Now, previously when we were able to perplex damage, I see the role of those characters. Okay? Because being able to perplex damage can be allowed for absurd amounts of burst damage to occur. Okay, in the current situation, those characters are detrimental to the healthy environment. Okay, I'm not going to say, oh, they're cancer. I'm not going to go there logically, even though I might feel that emotionally. But I can say that their place in the game needs to be really looked at by WizKids. They really need to analyze, like, hey, should we continue with this only takes one click of damage mechanic? If so, does that mean that the max dial is 4? Okay, 4 clicks. Okay, and then they'll have damage reduction so that they're not getting raked over the coals by poison or whatever else. Or make it so that they are susceptible to poison. And so that's something that they have to be mindful of. I know for myself personally, I felt like Amazo was a great figure that just got screwed over as soon as he came out due to several other mechanics that were in play. And that sucked. That really sucked. But even more so now, with the rules being changed and everything is starting to look in Amazo's favor, here comes Sinister Six, and you're just like, well, yeah, congratulations, Amazo. Like, you've just lost all of these advantages that you had as soon as it comes back. So, I understand the need for figures that could just take the alpha. I understand the need for figures that are durable, and I think that needs to be in place. But unfortunately, in the current state of the game, it's either completely inept due to Sinister Six or even Charge Flurry if you're lucky, or completely overpowering to the point where it's like, look, I can win games just because my character can't die, and you can't get my other characters. So those mechanics are it's a bit annoying. So when we start coming back and we look at the health of the game, quote unquote, and we can ask ourselves, is the game healthy right now? And in spite of my gripes, I will say I think the game state is in a position where it's healthy enough for creative solutions. I believe it's healthy enough for creative solutions. So I've watched various people play. I've watched a couple of games. I've sat back and talked with teammates about stuff. And not having to have a plus 52 theme team to actually run a core mechanic for it to be viable is a breath of fresh air. Starting to see teams that are based around solid tactics of 5 to 7 man squads is great. And in the past, 5 to 7 man squads would have been insane. Definitely about 6-7 years ago. 5 to 7 figure squads in a theme team would have been like, oh man, you're really going for the theme team. How much fodder did you have to put in there? Now it's all nice elite stuff. Like full on, like peak utility. All of it. But the trade-off I feel in the current game state is we are getting Walmartized. And what I mean by we're getting Walmartized is this. You get used to paying cheap prices. You don't want to pay what things are worth. And the more that WizKids refines the game down to us paying these prices lower and lower and lower, it's like the inverse of the Price is Right. Okay, they're going to create a problem where they're going to hit a fundamental wall, and they'll create a character that cracks that wall, in which it'll either shatter the game or make them have to go through revision 9.10 with the point formula. Okay, and that's the honest truth. So let's go in and look at the Battleground Wonder Woman thing. Okay, so let's look at a real simple figure. Like real simple figures. So we're going to go with Mary Shazam. Okay, she's going to start with charge, 11 attack, 18 defense, 3 damage. Okay, just that. Charge quake, 18 defense. So here's what I'm going to do. The Battleground characters are set truthfully around Fast Force's rarity, which is somewhere between uncommon to a rare, realistically, or uncommon to a common. They're not at a common level. They're usually like those 0.5s in between. So let's go ahead, and I'm gonna put in exact power combination. So charge plus quake on first click only. And then I'm just going to put in 11 attack. Okay, just 11 attack. I'm going to go Golden Age. I'm going to set less than 50 points. Okay. All right, so let's look. And again, just to be clear, this is not me trying to just troll WizKids and be annoying, but I'm trying to make a legit point about how much we're paying. All right, so let's look at the sets that come up. Oh, hey, Earth X. Earth X is the first set that shows up that's a little bit older set. And it's Captain Venom, which is a chase. And I'm paying for charge, quake, and I have a range value. So there is that. And combat reflexes and a special power. And that special power is the leadership for Captain Venom. So let's ask ourselves a distinct question, which is, for 20 more points, a Battlegrounds character has almost the same attack and movement, click dial length, as a chase, and does about the same amount of damage, and has a better defense. And the chase has the alien symbiote trait, the call and help for the Venom first trait, Eddie, you're just the man we need, and ready to serve my species. All of those things. Okay, on its first click. Because we got to remember, our first click is our most expensive click. Okay. Let's keep looking. Oh, I have the closest thing in point value is Colossal Retaliation Prime Colossus. All right, so let's keep looking. All right, Wonder Woman 8th Anniversary. I have Donna Troy, and she's 50 points, okay? And then I have Bizarro. So, Mary Shazam at 30 points is the most cost-effective charge quake figure in the game. In the game, period. Now let's go back and let's keep the Golden Age up, because again, I have not seen anything. There is no older figure for that cheap amount of points that has an 11 attack charge and quake. But maybe Edward, you're just a little bit off. Let's just look and just say 11 attack on first click only, Golden Age, less than 40 points now. Okay, cool. All right, so we got some things. Let's up the ante. Let's add in, make sure that they have 3 damage, so I'm not getting mega healers. All right, cool. All right, so I have The Rock. Okay, he has Slam, Slingshot. Okay, all right, so that's not bad. He has WWE team ability. Okay, so I have The Rock. I have Undead Vampire, which I need to heal up to get to that, so that's not necessarily true. Let's look and see what else. Okay, I got a Pog. So nope. Oh, I have the Pogs from the whatchamacallit Sentinel, the Captain America Sentinel. I love that figure. That was fun. Let's see. Okay, so we have Raza at 35 points, which is sort of close. We got Running Shot 6 range. We have High Evolutionary Prime, but again, we are at a Prime that's 40 points. We have Bishop, that's 40 points. Okay, we have Chamber, which is an uncommon, but he's a more recent piece. So let's try to go. Oh, hey, we got some more Battleground figures, which, and in all honesty, should make us really reassess some of the Battleground figures because they are. I mean, again, if these were 3 or 4 years ago, these figures would be viewed as breaking the game, and they would have been sold out. So let's try to go down out of figures that are not in modern. So our first figure that's not a modern figure is Avengers Infinity Giant Girl. We just knew how completely balanced she is at 20 points. Okay, so I'm paying 20 points for her. All right. Then we have a Rock Troll. Okay, a Rock Troll is 5 points less than she is and has fewer powers and less damage output. So let's keep going. Okay. Okay, we have Costa, but that's as a add-on. Let's see, Justice is Served. That LE was pretty much just broken, but he has like a 14 defense. So no one, he'll never get played again. Elektra from Critical Mass. There we go. Our first character that comes close. And even still, her defense is trash for the modern era. Even though she does have willpower, which would make her a lot better currently. All right, so again, I'm going to skip over everything that's modern. Okay, so we go to Harley Quinn and the Gotham Girls. We have Thrill Killer Robin. Okay, so maybe we completely underestimated his value. I've played against him before, and it's a strong piece. Shout out to my man Sean in KC. All right, so Joker's Wild Hawkman. Okay, now this is our closest apples to apples. Okay, this is literally our closest apples to apples. So the Rock, Hawkman is 30 points. Okay, Hawkman is 30 points. Mary Shazam is 30 points. They're exactly the same amount of points. If we are looking at what they offer, and we just do a heads-up comparison. All right, Mary Shazam has 3 clicks of 11, and Hawkman has 1. Mary Shazam is 5 clicks. Hawkman is 3. Mary Shazam, I take that back. I was wrong about the damage output. Mary Shazam drops down to a 2 damage. Hawkman has a 3 the entire time. And we're looking at defense. Mary Shazam has 2 clicks of 18 and 3 clicks of 17. And Hawkman only has 1 click of 18 and the rest are 17s. So we can clearly see, and we're not even factoring the cost for the Mystics team ability. Okay, they both fly. Currently, Hawkman was designed to take pushing damage. Mary Shazam wasn't. So when we're looking at this, like realistically looking at this, it is clear to see that we are on the GMO chicken version of heroclix right now. And that's going to be a problem in the future. Because creating and establishing baselines, or better yet, where the ceiling is going to become harder and harder, because the main mechanism of collectible games, unless you do hard resets, or do hard resets, is that the next set is more powerful than the last. And unless they establish bracket periods where they're going to say from here to here, it's the end of this bracketed period, and then going into the next bracketed period, we're going to start with this set because we have this whole bracketed period designed out, or mostly designed out, and we're going to be experiencing the game in brackets. So it's like from this set to this set, which is going to be like smaller than retirement, than our 2 years with retirement. So you would say this year is going to be this bracket. So from, let's just say, the set that came out in September all the way to the set that came out in June. That's going to be the bracket, okay? Or or July. That's going to be the bracket. Or let's just say June. This sounds better. Okay, those sets in between, those next few sets that come out, they may establish a whole bracket. Okay, and so you can have bracketed play, which I would feel would be better for WizKids sponsored events, and then their equivalent of Golden Age play would be your 2 year, your standard 300 point now. And that would allow for the meta to force evolve, like fast. And it would make it so that people would be looking at various different types of teams. So let's just say WizKids isn't forced to up themselves consistently. You can still play your older figures. It's all good. No one's going to be like, hey, you can't play that. And even WizKids will support it to a degree. But I think if they had like bracketed play, if it's 6 months or an 8 month period, or brackets is 6 sets, or not 6 sets, 4 product releases, including 1 DC set, then I think that would be a better idea. I think that would just be the better idea, unfortunately, because they're creating things in a way that, in my opinion, they're not thinking about cost outcomes. They're not thinking about what the long-term state of the game is. They're thinking about, okay, is this cool? Can I break the walls and keep going? Can I just bust through the wall like Kool-Aid Man and keep going? And so that to me is annoying. Okay, so let's talk about a couple other things. Let's talk about theme teams. Are theme teams mandatory? In my opinion, no. At the same time, if you are not a theme team, you're still sort of under the same rules that you were before, which is, can you take the alpha? And if your team can't take the alpha, then you can't run an off-theme team. And I would still say, to a degree, every team needs to be able to set up to take the alpha, but I've seen too many teams where it's just like, I'm an alpha team. If I go first, this game is over. If I go second, I'm sort of done. And I think that's another major problem. Is that for too many different setups, you're either, I'm in like Flynn, or I'm done. And I think that creates a huge problem when we start talking about building creative teams, building things that are useful, and it puts us back to these two extremes, which is I take 1 click of damage, or you can't target me, and then on the other end is, again, hello, I do 80 damage and 50 million attacks in 1 turn. And I'll go into this. I played Wonder Woman, and I know this is the pot calling the kettle black. I think Wonder Woman needs to be re-evaluated. The shifty focus Wonder Woman, that whole mechanic with her objects needs to be completely reevaluated. Because being able, like, one thing needs to go. And I'm going to be honest about it. One thing needs to go. Either with the lasso in particular. Or actually, no. One thing needs to go. Either I lasso and I only hit the targets that I can hit, and then those characters are targeted up. Okay, and I can melee do target. I don't have a problem with that with my end cap. Okay, and then I can swap and then do it again. Okay, or I hit all the surrounding characters with the end cap because I'm Wonder Woman, or I can get a new piece of equipment at the end of the turn to prepare for the next phase. One of those parts has to go, because being able, like, I've had 6 games, actually more than 6 games. Let's see, 5, 8, 11, 14. I've had 14 games, and out of those 14 games, I've had my opponent split up on the map effectively 3 times. 3 times. Okay, that's not good. And you could say, like, oh, get good, son, get good. And that's not fair. And I could, just say, like, hey, read the card and all this other stuff. And I could get that. But when I'm doing the math, in 16% of my matches, 16% of the matches, people split up. That's not good. That's not good at all. And considering that once they're split up, I can still, I'm just like, all right, well, I'm going to delete whatever I feel is the most, threatening to my team. Now, and there were 2 occasions where it was just like, okay, that was a fight. Actually 3, because I played Isaac twice and one other person. But every other time my opponent split up, it was just like, okay, let's go. Now, Isaac, in all fairness, we had almost a mirror match team. So, yeah, like, he had the same options that I did. So, I had to split up my team to try to figure out how I'm going to solve for the options on his team. Knowing that he can pull almost the exact same tricks on me. Like, that is a level of, you got to be thinking about this. So anyway, going back, the Wonder Woman mechanic is bad. It's really bad. After playing, I don't know how anyone thought that this was a good idea. So I'm going to be clear. I'm going to have some names for them. I got classic Wonder Woman, which is the Wonder Woman in the the typical. I have the mini dress for war. Then there's the pants one. I'll call her Hot Pants. And then there's Kingdom Come Wonder Woman, which isn't Kingdom Come Wonder Woman, but or I'll just say Armor Wonder Woman. Okay. What is frustrating to me is Hot Pants Wonder Woman keys off too much with it just keys off. It synergizes way too much with the lasso. It just does, because once I come in with classic Wonder Woman and I charge, and I can have the charge into nowhere, get into perfect position, in cap for free, swap, go to Hot Pants, and let's just say I hit, okay? So your entire group of guys are tokened up. I'm in hot pants now. So your defense is lowered and I have a 12. Then I'm going to incap you again. Okay? And then once I incap you again for free, because I'm coming in with the lasso, now you're -2. Here comes Giganta. Congratulations. And if I put 1 perplex in my Giganta has the equivalency of a 15 attack. Literally has the equivalency of a 15 attack. And the only time in all of my games playing with this combo in which Giganta did not go off is because I went against a God Emperor Doom with +3 to defense and played at 300. Now note this is a 500 point game with +3 to defense from the perplexes and had the Yellow Lantern battery with parallax on him. That is the only time that I have whiffed with this combo. Outside of Brad imperving out of freaking everything. That was just sad. That was sad from my point. Anyway, check out the Brad Broyles show. Check that out. So, anyway, as it goes, if you think about that fundamentally my team, as a theme team, is able to send a character out, quote unquote, with the equivalency of a 15 attack. That's not good for the game. Now, I'll say this. Is Giganta broken? No, she doesn't do enough damage overall. And I know someone's like, what? Like, she does full dial. She does 4 damage to your entire team, Dark Logos. Are you on that crack? Like, really? But no, like, she doesn't do that much because, again, you have to count for resistances, and you also have to count for the fact, which is also really important, that with most characters able to take that hit, you have to be able to unless you get rid of the outwitter or their entire team is locked down and they don't have any way of getting tokens off, your Giganta is public enemy number 1 and will get liquidated their next turn. Like, it just will happen a good chunk of your time, and you have to accept that. And after you've done that alpha, your Flash and Hawkgirl or anything else that you have is on the other side of the map. And they haven't gotten down there to help you, which is really important. Okay. So, I think that's, like I said, that's something that we really need to have an open conversation about, maybe a little bit more thoroughly. Is this WizKids, is this a good idea? Just is this a good idea? Because from my perspective, it's really not. And it could get absurd. Definitely when I played some Silver and Golden Age games, I just added in the Batman Superman robot, which that dude, I hate to say, is overcosted now, which is quite hilarious. And so I could Colossal Retaliate with Giganta. Once that hits, then all of a sudden, let's just say you rake her over the coals, I'm going to come across the map with Batman Superman robot. That's dumb. That's dumb. So, and even still, and I want to just emphasize about like how dumb that is. The fact that I have the Empower really doesn't mean too much. Okay? Until Flash shows up. And then once Flash shows up, and realistically, this is the other thing with the Wonder Woman combo. Let's just say I hit 3 times. Out comes Gorilla Grodd. I miss 3 times. Out comes Black Vulcan. I can throw enough attacks where the split can happen. I hit twice with Wonder Woman, missed once, and then missed with Giganta. That combo could come out too. But fundamentally, that Wonder Woman can generate a trouble alert or a troublemaker by her darn self. That's a problem. That's too many actions. It's just too many actions. So, during the War of Light era, I said something to Norm, and I still hold to it. WizKids has a free action problem. WizKids has a free action problem. And because WizKids has a free action problem, it becomes annoying when they finally fix it and then they come back and say, hey man, you only can do one type of free action once per turn. So that fixes everything, right? And it's like, yeah, but really though. Really though, we can do these things. So they make characters that get around their core rules instead of just saying, look, let's keep everything in the core game design and see how fun the game is. And instead they keep making characters that don't. So, anyway. Overall, my current assessment of the game, I'm going to break it down into categories. In terms of diversity, we're in an A. Not everything is X-Men. Not everything is Fantastic Four. Not everything is Justice League. Not everything is Sinister Six. Not everything is Monsters. You see where I'm going. There's variations on Justice League. There's variations on Sinister Six. You can run a Herald team. There are a bunch of cool teams to run. I almost came close to running a Justice League, Justice League Green Lantern tank. The last few tournaments that I played. I didn't even think about it for the tank open, but I did think about it for a couple other different events. And so, what you have there is a very... You see variations. Your hero teams with Exodus and Green Lantern. Those are pretty cool. Or I've seen your your offshoot teams that are utilizing Sky Tyrant or utilizing Scarab. Like, all those things are pretty cool. And I could say, like, look, they have places in the game. They have legitimate places in the game. I think where we need to start, like, having those conversations again is, all right, so these things have a place in the game. But should these have been unique? Or how should these game effects pop off? How do we consider some things? Like, what about the dupe problem? Like, when I'm running a ton of them. Like, Dr. Fates is dumb. Does it mimic an effect that he does? Yes. But as a mechanic, Dr. Fate should have just been, hey, if you just play Dr. Fate, you're plus 2 actions. Or you can spend 10 points per new Dr. Fate, and you'll be plus 1 action, but you got like 5 Dr. Fates. Or you might not even run 5 Dr. Fates. You might just run 2 or one additional Dr. Fate. It allows you to start thinking about it a little bit more in depth and nuance. And I know some folks say like, well, then no one would ever run 5 Dr. Fates. And I'm like, well, yeah. But now I'm not addicted to 10-point TK and enhancement, which is to a degree very toxic. And I know some people say, well, you have the down payment of the standard Dr. Fate at 65, Edward. No, that piece at 65 points is cost appropriate and is pretty decent. Then I'm buying 10-point clones. 10-point clones that have its first click, which is fundamentally its most expensive click. And I'm getting it for 10 points, which is a discount. Because the amount of powers that it has to be more than 10 points. Not even counting the stats, because we already know the stats are dirt cheap. Just counting the points. So, yeah, so when we start talking about diversity, I give the diversity of the meta the A. When I give the current state of the figures in the game, I'm giving it a C+. Now you're going to say, like, Dark Logos, your last few reviews have been, like, hot fire. Like, the figures are great. You'd be like, how are you giving it a C+? And here's why. This is the first, in the last few weeks, the first major competitive weekends that we have had. Like, serious competitive weekends that we've had in person. And that means a lot in terms of analysis. Okay? And I know from my perspective, talking with teammates that I playing myself, looking at a few games here and there, I gotta be real. I gotta be 100% real on it. I feel that the figures that are being introduced to the game are not moving positive game state forward, but it's pushing everyone into one style of play, towards one style of play, which is my game is over in 30 minutes style of play. Let's go. We're going to arm you up with a bunch of cheap figures that can die easily. And then you're going to swing. And then your opponent's going to swing. And then all this swinging's, and shaking's going on. And boom, there we go. The game is over. And it's like, did you have fun? Did you have fun with this high impact heroclix? Come on. You had fun, didn't you? Didn't you? And that to me is, it doesn't benefit anyone except whiz kids when it comes to cons and getting your tournaments done faster. That's it. And if the game is go, let's go. I don't think that's good. I realistically do not think that is good for your game, because now you're in this new position where if you introduce any mechanic that slows down that go mindset, you're stuck with two options. Option number one is you nerf that figure into the ground, or B, you have to make more aggressive figures that overcome that hurdle. And I don't like that. I don't like those two options. And with WizKids, they'll do both. And when it comes time to depower your game, okay, when it comes time to depower your game and go through the power decreep, they're not going to know what to do. And to me, that's a problem. Okay, like that's a big problem. And so, yeah, like I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. So like I said, the state of the figures, I'm giving it a C plus. Lastly, fun factor. I'm gonna go with the C right now, and here's why. Either I have only been in a handful of games in the last few weeks that are back and forth games. Majority of my games are either I locked you down and come take this Gigantaquake. She's got a nice huge stick to shove it where the sun don't shine. And she's going to constantly be doing it. Or it is, oh yeah, I just got rolled. Yep, got rolled. And there is nothing that I can do about it. And I think that's sad. I think that's sad. I think for the fact that I have to dedicate everything that I can to try to eliminate your Sky Tyrant or Scarab is not fun. If and this is one thing that really bugs me. How much I have to dedicate. If my team cannot delete Sky Tyrant on turn 1, or at least guarantee that he can't heal back up to his dumb charge click, my team could just die. Like, my team just dies. And I that's not fun. That's not fun. I feel Guy Gardner is at least fair. Because he's up there. He's up there. Sky Tyrant can hit you and dip back. Like, that's not fun. That's not fun. And I'm waiting to see the congratulations, I go first. I have the Colossal Retaliation monster that is stupid dumb. And so I'll sacrifice Sky Tyrant. Oh, did he accidentally KO something? Congratulations, he's going to come back. And you don't have enough actions to kill him. And when you hit him, because you will, I'm going to retowel all over your face, and you're going to be mad. And there's nothing that you can do about it. You can either ignore Sky Tyrant, and I'm going to do the same thing again next turn, and you come after my retowel, or try to get Sky Tyrant off the map and know you're going to get retoweled. So that's not fun. That's not fun. Okay? So I get why people have been saying, like, look, like, the game's in a good place. I get it why people have said, like, look, there's these positive things going on. Look, like, the game is innovating. Look, there's all this stuff. I can understand how it's positive mostly, and I'm not going to crap on that. But I would also say, like, this is still it's fun when you're not playing the best stuff. And I know this is a competitive podcast, And I know like a lot of folks will say like, wait, whoa, like I never expected him to say that. And I've praised WizKids a lot on improving the common and uncommon experience, which they have. The battleground stuff, when I'm actually looking at it a little bit more objectively and mathematically, are a lot stronger than what I care to have given credit for, or I think probably pretty much a lot of other people have given credit for. But man, I gotta say, like, playing with the best stuff in the current game is just designed to make the other side not have fun, to completely skirt around the rules. Even if you go into the Dooms, the Dooms are set up just to say, screw you, you can't do this. Screw you, you can't do this. Screw you, you can't do this. And if you have to make that many characters that just say, screw you, you can't do this, and I understand there's a point for shenanigans and denial, you need to reevaluate what you're doing. You really need to reevaluate what you're doing. Why do you need to keep bending the rules? And I think my main frustration more so comes having run, like, I created my own RPG to run with the kids, and since I'm done with the school, the kids are still like, hey, can you run a game for us here and there? And I don't have to be a teacher to run a game for them, so I'm now the positive adult figure in their life sort of thing for a period of time. And having made my own game and looking at mechanics and being like, well, yeah, I visioned this and this didn't happen. Okay, this is broken. I'm a rat at this. Okay, cool. This isn't good. Okay, so I'm gonna fix that. I found myself having to create situations so that they didn't just cast Fireball or cast Illusion or just get pets or just get spirits or just use Kamehameha Wave type things, or just didn't run without a healer, only having a healer, always using potions, never using potions. Like it took a while, and I've been doing this for about like a year and a half now, to get a good sense of like, hey, all right, this is what I need to do. I need to get them involved. I need to push the NPC talking a little bit more. Maybe have the NPCs approach them now and then. All right, so too much socialization here. Okay, and go talky here, punchy there. Oh, power combinations here. Oh, hey, you thought this was bad. Okay, problems. You overcommit. Problems. Didn't commit enough. Problems. So you're going to have to deal with situations being rough. I get that, but I kept everything within a pretty strict guideline of rules. And with heroclix right now, I feel that as things have gotten better, they've started to just say the only way we're going to make this better is if we completely nerf all the things that we put out to make it better, so that we can, again, put in these broke figures for fun. It's fine for these figures to be broke because, of course, we have all these silver bullets spread out through all these different sets. So this is fine, ignoring the fact that maybe you just shouldn't do that mechanic. Like Wonder Woman for a free end cap would have been fine. Okay, if Hot Pants Wonder Woman just said for every time a character was token, they have a max -1 defense, and or even if she said like, hey, if a character has an action token, Wonder Woman has +1 attack against that target, or Wonder Woman is +1 defense against a target with action token, or +2 defense if she incapacitated a character, last turn, versus everything that Wonder Woman's eyes see has a -2 defense. And even then, I don't even think it's a line of sight. I just think it's within 4 squares. You're screwed-o. Okay, that's not fun. I have some casual guys I play against, and last night was probably the least amount of fun that I've had playing against them. Not for what they themselves did, but it's just the fact that in my mind, I still had Wonder Woman up until last night as, yeah, she's okay, because I've lost enough games. Now I'm like, no, she's broke strong. She's broke strong. And that's not fun. And I've done Jason, I've mind controlled your team, and I've done the stop hitting yourself. I've done the Great Wall, build the wall teams. I've done a lot of stuff. And my opponents have a chance through whatever they build, through whatever other mechanics, to not get affected by those teams as much. Or even to a degree, I can have some bad dice luck and I'm rolling 5s and 4s. But in a situation where 5s and 4s hit, you need to reassess your game. Like 5s and 4s easily hitting, you need to reassess the mechanic. You need to reassess your numbers. There's a lot of stuff to be thought about. So that's it. Sorry for the nasal congestion. The allergy meds have not kicked in. I probably need to hit my air purifier, get some of this pollen out the air, so I can enjoy my time in my chair, my ever so squeaky chair. And yeah, that's it for today. I'd like to thank y'all for listening. I hope you all enjoyed the little bit of video that I had. I went an hour. I wasn't expecting on going an hour. I thought this was going to be like 40 minutes, but I guess the rant was strong in this one. So, quick housekeeping. Probably before the next move, I'm going to be back in Kansas City. Before the next show, I'm probably going to be back in Kansas City. So there's that. So if you don't hear, see, view any shows for, let's just say a month, because I have to figure out how am I going to get internet to my computer where it's at in my new abode. Yeah, that's why. And more than likely, I'll probably be producing things on my laptop, because specifically that's what it's for. So there's that. Pray for the brother trying to get a job in coronavirus land. Yeah. So there's that. I actually am applying for a job running a podcast of all the irony. So that and public relations job, and potentially teaching at my old high school, or my 3, like, hey, can I get one of these? Hopefully. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, life. Or whatever else. So there's that. I'm randomly selling various heroclix on eBay and HIE. So if you see stuff with 3309 Edward, that's me. And I'm selling things on eBay. And I'm also selling things on HIE. So if you see anything there and you're like, I'll buy that from him. Everything goes to help me get some stuff together. I'm not going to front. So, all right, that's it. I'd like to thank you all for listening. You can email me at startingoverpodcast@gmail.com. That's startingoverpodcast@gmail.com if you wish to opine. So thank you for listening, and remember, we all have